After months of rumors, speculation, and innuendo, I have finally gotten to put my hands on a Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now, of course, a lot of you have probably done this. You can drive to a local Best Buy location, perhaps, and do the exact same thing. But I thought because we are still sort of within the gravitational pull of the black hole of news that the Z Fold 6 has created, no one's announced anything. There's no news. Nothing else is happening. It's all Z Fold 6. I thought I would take this opportunity to talk about my sort of brief first impressions with the Z Fold 6. And what I did is I literally just shot a couple of brief videos, and we're going to kind of go through what I saw and experienced in those videos. So just talking about the hardware itself, the Crease is definitely roundabout the same as it always is. If you remember a few months back, I showed you guys a video kind of showing off these, maybe it was actually photos. It was of a dummy unit. And I said, this is about what I expect the Crease to look like. Some of you said you shouldn't draw your conclusions about the Crease based on a dummy unit. And I said, I'm not. I'm just saying this dummy unit happens to look about how I was expecting it to look. And here it is in person. A little bit dirty. It's a display unit. People have had their grubby little hands all over it and so forth. But as you can see, that Crease is pretty much what it's always looked like. Now, the screen does turn itself back on, and it does become a lot more difficult to see. I also just want to point out, I do think I like that squared off thing quite a bit. I like it maybe more than I thought I was even going to, and I thought I was going to like it a good amount. And you can see there again, without the screen on, different angles, what that Crease is going to look like. We are not dealing with a OnePlus Open situation. It's still very much there. Now, granted, I am in the camp of people who does believe that the Crease discussion is a little bit overblown. We talk about it too much. The reality is when you're using these phones and the screen is on, that's how you use them. Whether it's a Z Fold, it's a Pixel Fold, whatever it might be, the Crease is not visible. It's only when you have it off axis at a weird angle with a light hitting it that it's going to be noticeable. The vast majority of the time, looking at it, you don't see it. But it's there, and you can see it, and I wanted to kind of let you guys know. Now, let's talk about that cover display. So I also made a video talking about how early visuals showing this device next to something like the OnePlus Open, I thought that the cover display actually looked a bit wider than I was expecting it to. Now that I've seen it in person, I've kind of flipped back the other direction. It is definitely still more narrow than a normal phone, more narrow than a OnePlus Open. Something about it, just in video format, it's kind of hard to truly understand, to truly like visualize what this thing is going to look like in person. It is absolutely a step in the right direction. When I got home, I grabbed my Z Fold 4 and I picked it up and I thought, yes, it is miles ahead of that, but it is still not where the OnePlus Open is. Now, today, I happened to be with my wife, and she had her Pixel 8 Pro, so I said, throw your Pixel 8 Pro out there next to it. We can kind of see a size comparison. Of course, she does have a case on, so just really pay attention to the screen. You can see how much wider a traditional flagship is going to be. And then I had my Pixel Fold in my pocket, so I pulled that out, had my wife film this, and you can see there is a radical difference in aspect ratio between the Pixel Fold and the Z Fold 6. No big surprise there, but in case you wanted to kind of see a visual of exactly what you're looking at, that is kind of what we're looking at. And looking at the side profile, again, the flat sides of this feel really nice. Since this device does come together completely flat now when it's folded over, and it has those flat rails, I must admit, it does feel really, really good in the hand, and especially holding the Pixel Fold there with it, the weight is strikingly different, okay? So 239 grams for that Z Fold. I'm so used to these foldable devices being so much heavier, it almost feels like I'm holding a dummy unit. It feels like I'm not holding an actual, like, real device, and that is very, very impressive. It's right there with the OnePlus Open and way lighter than my Pixel Fold. And on the back side here, even though the cameras have not changed really, I know that it's supposed to be a slightly new ultra-wide sensor, but by and large, the cameras are the same as they've been for several years. They do look a bit different, right? You have this different look around the camera. It's almost like it's a black bump around them, which is different. That's kind of what it looks like on the back. same as it ever was. If you appreciate the song, Talking Heads fans will know what I'm referencing there. I do like this kind of silver material. There are some other like lighting around, and as we kind of turned it, it's picking up that lighting as well and giving it almost like a purple look, but that is because of the ambient lighting, not the device itself. Now, in terms of any sort of software experience, I really don't have a whole lot to say for two reasons. One, there's just not a whole lot that's like different about this device in the first place. If you're using a Z Fold 4 that's fully updated, a Z Fold 5 that's fully updated, it's going to be basically the same thing as that. Now, in retrospect, I do wish that I had have had time to test out the sketch to image stuff, but there were other people around and I didn't want to just be hogging the demo unit any longer than I already was. But again, there's really not a whole lot else there for me to explore and talk about. If I end up getting the thing, we will do some very deep dives into it. And to kind of wrap things up on that subject, I'm just going to be completely 100% honest with you guys. I am still pondering whether or not I'm going to get the thing. And this was my justification. I'll just show you what I posted on Threads the other day. I literally just had a roof put on the house that was extremely expensive, and it's hard for me to then turn around and justify spending $2,000 on a phone unless it makes sense. So what I'm currently doing is I am waiting. I should know what kind of commission I made from the Z Fold links. How many of you guys said, I'm going to support Shane's channel by clicking the link before I buy the Z Fold that I was already going to buy? Please, no one buy a Z Fold to help support me. That's crazy. Only do it if you're already going to buy it. Once I know, probably Monday, I'm hoping, what that number is, that will tell me, okay? So if it's basically taken care of, yeah, I'm going to grab one. I'm going to cover the you-know-what out of it. I'm going to deep dive. I'm going to do long reviews. I'm going to do tutorials and tips and tricks. It's going to be a ton of fun. But I'm waiting until Monday to find out. So just kind of stick around and hopefully that all pans out. I skipped the Fold 5. I'd love to do the Fold 6 and kind of continue covering these Z Folds. But again, money is money. It doesn't grow on trees. So I'm waiting to see how all of that stuff pans out. I'm optimistic. I think I'm going to be able to swing it, but I just wanted to kind of be real with you guys about what's going on there. But yeah, that's kind of what I thought, my brief first impressions. It's kind of a little bit mixed, right? So a lot of the hardware I thought felt really, really good. My wife was actually very surprised at how light it felt, how refined, how polished it felt. Really, really solid. The cover display is better. Not as good as I wanted it to be, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. So guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.